Hey YouTube, it's Amy. Happy July. Before we get into this video, I just wanted to preface it and let you know a few things. First off, this video was filmed back in December. It was originally intended to be posted during Vlogmas, but I never finished Vlogmas. I really didn't post many videos at the beginning of 2022, so I decided to save it for Christmas in July, and I'm very grateful and thankful that both Lisa and Dory were okay with me keeping it in the under lock and key for 7 months, I guess. So I wanted to let you know this was filmed a very long time ago, but I'm still very happy that I was able to do this little Christmas chat with Lisa and Dory. Happy Christmas in July. I wanted to post this first one on July 4th because today is my 25th birthday, so I'm celebrating with one of my favorite things, which is celebrating Christmas all year round, specifically in July, apparently. So I hope you guys enjoy this little Christmas movie chat about the Netflix movie Love Hard, and just let you guys know, over the rest of July, I have a couple more Christmas movie chats that I'm going to be posting, as well as some Disney World vlogs that I have saved up. So thank you so much for watching my channel, for subscribing, liking, and commenting, and I hope you enjoy this mini movie chat with Lisa and Dory. Hey everybody, it's Amy. Welcome back to my channel, and I am back with another Christmas movie review, this time from a Netflix movie. And today I have some of my special internet friends with me to help me talk about this movie. And first I have my friend Dory. Hello.
Hi everyone.
And then my friend Lisa.
Hi doll.
So we are going to talk about the Netflix movie that came out this year called Love Hard. And I just want to start out, I want to get your first reactions to this movie. Okay, what did you just first thoughts? Dory, go ahead.
Loved it. Loved it. I love Nina Dobrev. I thought she was great. One of my favorite internet comedians, Heather McMahon. I shouldn't call her an internet comedian. She's just a comedian, but I discovered her on the internet. She plays her best friend. A+. Loved it. So cute.
All right, Lisa, what did you think?
Same. I had a really good time watching it. There was a couple parts where I was just like, not for me. But overall, it was, I was super entertained by it. I was laughing. I almost fell off the treadmill watching it. I mean, yes, it got me. So yes, I loved it.
Yeah, I loved it. I really enjoyed it too. I've watched it like 3 times at this point. I love the cast: Nina Dobrev, Jimmy Yang, Darren Barnett, which I've never seen him in anything other than Netflix's Never Have I Ever TV show, which I very much enjoy. So it was awesome to see them, and I really enjoyed the movie. Very fun. Okay, so let's get in and talk about this. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but in the past couple years, we've had an increasing amount of Christmas movies about online dating.
Yes.
And I want to know your feelings about this. I don't know if you guys have experience with online dating. If you do, you could talk about that. But these online dating movies, as far as a bunch of the millions of ones we've seen in the past couple years, how would you say this one goes as far as online dating movies?
I think that this is one of the better interpretations of an online dating movie. As someone who has online dated pre-pandemic, who, has suffered through the online dating world, I appreciate the idea that you think you found a good one and you just need to know. You need to know if he's the one. So you take a chance. I completely appreciated her willingness to fly across the country and meet him because he seemed perfect. Mm-hmm. And finding a connection with someone like that, especially online, can be really tough. So I understood why she did what she did, and it led to a really entertaining take on the whole thing. So thumbs up from me.
So I don't have any online dating experience because I don't think they were around when I first started dating. Like I think I would be super good at it though, because I love a good text-based relationship. I'm like, I don't need to see you in real life. This is fine. So I think I'd be super good at it. I'd be like, yes, let's just keep this all contained in my phone and we don't ever have to meet. However, what I really liked about it is normally in these stories, you know, there's the big mix up and that's the movie.
Mhm.
Is him trying to hide his real identity and talking to his friend to be like, just play along. And it's some sort of Syrian de Bergerac, you know, like Roxanne type thing where it's like, just play, you know, just play like you're the person that, you know, and he lets his friend in on the gig. But in this case, right off the bat, she's like, wait, you're not that person. And we, you know what I mean? Like, it's just that secret is out there. Of course, there's lies built on top of that, and it ends up being a lying movie after all. But
Mhm.
um, I really like that it wasn't like this big, long, drawn out thing for half the movie. It was just like, oh yeah, that's not, you're not who you said you were.
Mhm.
We're past that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah, and I liked, because some of these online dating movies, it's like immediate, like you meet them online immediate. I like that they showed in the beginning she talked to him on the phone, she got more pictures from him, she didn't just match with him and then the next day jumped on a plane. Like there was a little bit of like them getting to know each other, which I appreciated before she jumped on a plane across the country.
Yeah.
Which I still think is
At Christmas.
a little bonkers, but like it was good, it was great.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. I felt her. I
Mhm.
felt her for sure.
Yes, exactly. So when she gets there, she finds out, oh, this is not the Josh I've been talking to. He is not the person I've been talking to. She gets to this city, and I loved the parents in this movie. 'Cause
Same.
the way the mom was like, are you and oh, I loved them. How did you feel about their Josh's parents, his family in this movie?
When she's like, are you, because she doesn't want to say it, but she wants to. She wants to be like, are you his? And then when she's his girlfriend, and she's like, the spark of hope, like, please, and the joy that comes across her face, and then everybody comes in, and oh my gosh, I love that whole family. Yeah.
The family was great. I mean, Grandma was everything. She was so funny. I loved her. I mean, I thought the whole family was a freaking delight. And you could tell they really loved each other, you know, and I love that breakfast scene the first morning that she's there, when she gets up and she comes up and they're all just kind of joking and like having a good time. Love the family. They were a major added bonus
Yeah.
to the like on top of the romance storyline.
Yeah. And this movie had so many like tropes, like Christmas movie tropes. We got fake dating, the online dating, the fake fiance it ended up being. I was like, this is giving me so many different tropes. Did you guys have a favorite?
I do like a good fake dating story. However, I get very nervous as the story progresses because you know it's got to come out. Like the truth has to be revealed, and that anticipating that moment makes me so like my hands start to sweat. Like you know it's coming as the movie gets along, and this one really, really made me sweat because I was like, it's especially when it all comes together and you see it happening. You're like, oh my god, it's so tense.
Yes, that engagement party was brutal. And I mean that in the best way. Like, because everything comes together and you're just like, wow, watching a train wreck here.
Yeah.
I also like a fake dating story, but I also like the I'm going to help you get this guy story. Like, I'm going to be the expert who's going to guide you to teach you how to get this guy. And everything that goes wrong with that, and how he was like trying to coach her into being a more sporty girl with the rock climbing. I loved all of that stuff. And I like that trope. So like, I'm actually in love with you, but I'm going to deny, and I'm even going to push you to someone else. Love that. So
And
I
it's
like that too.
usually the flop. Like it's usually a really hot guy and a girl that let's not, you know, split hairs here. They're always two hot people, but they for some reason will like try and make the girl look homely. But in reality,
Yes.
they're both hot. and it's usually her like trying to win the guy over and ask for advice. And he's like, maybe you should take better pictures, or, but this time it was reversed and it was her. She's like,
Mhm.
let me see your dating profile. Let me see what you're putting out there. And of course, that dating profile.
Oh my gosh, that dating profile. It's like, there's certain things you see on dating websites and you go, oh, red flag.
When he's holding that axe.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
lost
the
it.
axe.
I lost it. Yeah.
So ridiculous.
He wonders why he didn't get many matches. And it's because, he had scary pictures on him.
I like that he got 3 though. Like somebody out there was like, yeah. I mean, I know
Yes.
one of them was one of his teachers, but 2 other people were like, yes, this is the guy for me.
Mhm.
One very tired lady was like, you know what? He'll do.
Yeah. And like the thing is, he
do.
got 3 matches, but I know so many people who sit there on dating sites and they just like every single, like they don't even look at it. So my thought was like, how many of these 3 matches were actually people looking at his profile? How many were just
Oh no, they just, oh my
swipe
God.
through and don't even care?
Oh my God.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah.
Because getting to the message stage is so hard
Mhm.
in the first place. So yeah,
exactly.
loved it.
Oh gosh. But the family, like everything, the family, they really like took her in and were, accepting of her and Josh's relationship. And it was just so sweet and so cute. And at the same time, I was like, but she's going out with Tag. She's going,
I know.
doing all these things that, oh goodness. The hike was okay when they were hiking for the date, but was it luge?
That was hilarious.
He took her.
He should not have been doing that.
Where do you even find one of those that the public can go on? And
Lake Placid,
so
New York,
bonkers.
baby.
apparently
It was bonkers. It was very funny. Like, I did like the kind of winter sport aspect of that though, because of Lake Placid and like the Olympics were there way back when. So I bet they do have those kind of.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
I
I
thought they
bet
just
do have
picked a
those
random
kind of.
small town in New York is what I thought they were going for.
No, it was home to the
yeah.
Winter Olympics years and years and decades ago. And so I bet they have winter sport places like that.
Yeah.
They're more than anywhere in the States. I bet you could find an ice luge place or whatever. So I thought that was cute.
Can you imagine? I'd be like, man, I just thought a movie, or I don't know, but you want to go luging.
Yeah,
On
so
a date.
that Olympics was in 1980, so I was -17 when that happened. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, long time
let's
ago.
Let's just say I was born already.
Okay.
We'll just leave it at that. I'd be like, I don't have the insurance for this. Okay. I don't have the health insurance for this. We can't do anything that I might end up needing to bill out of network. No.
I was like, she probably had to sign like a million waivers.
For
like
real.
Signing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was but it was funny. And I think
it was funny.
Those dates with Tag were funny. They were fun, but at the same time I was like, oh, but he likes you so much, Josh. You.
I know.
2 relationships kind of going along. She's secretly dating Tag, but also pretending to date Josh. And then Josh just takes it one step further. Josh and his brother have this competition, like kind of his brother's always trying to one up him. And so she gives him some advice. You know what? Next time you need to one up your brother. And I don't think that's what she meant. But they're out, they're caroling, and all of a sudden, brother announces, we're having a baby. And of course, Josh is like, I've got to one up my brother because that's the advice you gave me, and proposes. What did you think about that whole scene?
Brutal. I felt so uncomfortable. I was so nervous because at this point the lie had already snowballed to epic proportions. Like, she's literally dating two guys, essentially. Different reasons, but she's dating two guys at the same time. The family is falling in love with her. They love her. They had just had that really cute moment where they were singing Baby It's Cold Outside, the new version. So like, everyone was kind of all in the feels, watching them kind of come together and like each other more, and both of them maybe sort of kind of realizing that there might be something there. And to take it and do something that drastic was brutal. Also, can we talk about Harry Shum Jr. as a jerk? That was unexpected and different, you know, like, he just seems like the nicest, sweetest guy. So to see him play the kind of like jerk, arrogant brother was different. I've never seen him like that. And I thought he did a good job playing that like obnoxious jerk of a brother.
I love him because I've watched him in Shadowhunters. Yes, I did. I didn't realize he was that tall. So that was already, I was like, is he this tall? He's tall. But that's besides the point. I wanted to laugh at how ridiculous he was in the background of that scene, just getting so mad that his brother was singing. But at the same time, I was so irritated. I was so annoyed. I was like, just let your brother sing. And of course, then they have to like throw it out there with the baby. And then of course that escalates everything. But, and I don't know if you're going to talk about this later. So if you are, I apologize and I'll come back to it. But I wish that was the one thing in this movie that I wish there was more closure on, was his weird one-upmanship with his brother. They never really followed up and like circled back on that. And that was my one thing, is like, that whole movie, you know, once the brother got introduced, he was constantly in, you know, competition mode. And I know there was a moment towards the end when they had this like nice eye moment, shoulder squeeze, but I wanted more. I wanted the reason why the family holds him up to such high standards and treats him that way. Like, I wanted more on that storyline. So that was it.
I'm glad you brought that up though, because I hadn't even thought of that and considered that, but there really wasn't, other than that like little side hug type thing, there wasn't like a resolution of their sibling ship. I mean, then they just started acting fine with each other in the end.
Yeah.
Right. There was no like heart to heart. There was no, you know, moment, like emotional moment between them. And that would have been nice to see. I agree.
Yeah. I mean, and it was kind of the same way with the dad. I thought I know we got the moment, but I thought we were going to get a little bit more. And so just in general with his family, like always being like the outsider, it was more pronounced with the brother. But just overall, that was my one complaint with the movie, is I wish we would have just had a little bit more like come to Jesus moments with him and his family, like his place in the family. And that was, we
got a little bit of it with the candle making once dad found the candles and it smells like grandpa and all that. But like, we didn't get much more than that. And I almost wish like they would have explored a little bit more about grandpa, because it was like, he's not there anymore type of thing. Like, they mentioned it and there was a few things, but I would have liked a little bit more of that shown.
Same. Agreed.
But after this, she's still dating Tag and Josh for different reasons. And all of a sudden his parents put the engagement announcement in the newspaper, and that was probably my favorite scene of the movie, is them with all the newspapers in the car hiding from the paper boy.
Just a giant like full page ad basically, and I'm like, what? It was so funny.
His mom was so proud of him.
I know,
but like, that was just so funny. And I think that was such a like good scene between the two of them in that backseat of the car, talking about the dating profile, talking, you know, they were complimenting each other, having fun with each other. And I think that was just a really, really good, probably my favorite scene of the movie personally.
I love that. And I love when any couple in any romantic comedy, my favorite part is just watching them have fun and like get a kick out of each other.
Mhm.
Like I like to see them just laughing and having a good time. And that scene was so funny because they were on a very serious mission, but they were still just like laughing the whole time and having fun with it and cracking up, even though they knew that that Tag seeing the paper could totally ruin everything. They still were having the best time and they were loving spending time with each other. I agree, Amy. That was a great scene. It was so funny. And it added kind of like an adventure element. It was like a chase scene basically with the newspaper boy. It was so fun.
I was just like the whole time I'm like, wow, you are so lucky your mom thought of the newspaper and not like Facebook first, because then
Right?
everyone would have known. It really would have ruined it. Yeah.
I didn't even think about that, but oh my God. Well, my mom doesn't use Facebook and neither does my dad. So they wouldn't have been like, what? Put it where? Never mind. They would have done the same thing, newspaper. But that's a good point. Like it's amazing it didn't end up online.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with that whole second like beeline storyline of her boss trying to get her to continue having bad dates for her column. I'm surprised that the boss didn't post anything throughout this experience that might have ruined it as well.
I loved the boss.
Can I just say,
was really funny.
He was my favorite of the whole movie.
He was great. And when he showed up in Lake Placid, I was like, oh, this is going to get even better. Because like, this man should not be here.
he is invested. Like,
totally invested.
She said, how did you get here? And he's like, first class. What do you think? I died laughing. It's like, this guy.
The best.
So funny. And I know he's been on a bunch of Hallmark movies and stuff like that, but he cracks me up. He was probably my favorite part of the movie, like my favorite side character.
Oh my goodness, he was so funny. And just how he was rooting for a train wreck. He was rooting for insanity. He's like, whatever's going to make a better story, that's what I want. I don't care about your happiness. I only care about a good story. But then they did have a nice moment too.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I did like how at the end he came around. He's like, all right, listen, that was even too much for me story-wise. He was like, this was even too much for me to sell. So I like that he was like leading her and he's like, hey, but why did you do this? Like this isn't like you. Why did you come here? Why did you stay? Like when she knew who it was. And I like that he helped her recognize her heart.
Yeah. And a lot of this all happened at the then engagement party that Josh's parents threw for them. And at this engagement party, we have the brother has found out now that she's dating two guys. The boss is all of a sudden there. Tag, her second boyfriend, his parents are there at this engagement party. Oh, and Tag also thinks that Josh and her are cousins. So
lest we forget that part.
Which is just fantastic. This whole scene, I was just holding my breath. I'm like, oh, this is going to be the best train wreck.
Doesn't at some point somebody say like, I thought they were cousins, and somebody else is like, hey, I don't judge, or something like that? Like it
was the guy from the airport and who was also the Uber driver and like everything else. Yeah.
It made me laugh so hard. It's like, I don't judge. I don't remember what he said, but yeah, I died laughing. Yeah.
So good.
Oh gosh. That whole party. And one of the things, I guess a little bit more with the brother, like the brother was starting to show like a protectiveness as well for Josh, which didn't really line up with what was going on earlier. So yeah, it was that threw me off a little bit.
I feel like there was a scene missing, like a scene cut out, maybe for time or something, because it would have been nice to have some sort of bridge between, yes, the competitive nature and then the protectiveness, because in a romance novel, we would have gotten that moment. We would
Mhm.
have had that little sidebar and we would have seen it and it would
Mhm.
have made sense, or a flashback or something.
I wonder
Mhm.
if the protectiveness was supposed to like come off more as it wasn't him just protective of Josh, it was protective of the family. Like didn't want his family to look bad kind of thing. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
She she gets up there for her speech and she admits everything to like the entire
Oh,
oh, this poor
oh,
girl.
Like you could have given the Reader's Digest condensed version. Like you could have like toned it down, but she was like, "Let me just lay it all out."
Mm-hmm.
it was so hard to watch. And those kind of culminating scenes where the lie comes out always make me so uncomfortable. But this one was bonkers. Like she's standing up above everybody and like kind of looking down. It just
Mm-hmm.
was intense. And I also felt really bad for her and Josh. Like, because I think what I liked about this movie is that it's mostly good people who made
Mm-hmm.
mistakes. And
Hmm.
the mistakes were all made because they wanted love.
Yeah.
And I think I think it's understandable, right? That like you want love and you want your person. And so you get to a point where you're willing to go to extreme lengths to get them. And then you add on the idea that like you have family members who are invested in you finding love and being happy, and your friends, and your boss because you write about relationships. And so it just becomes, it almost takes on a life of its own. But at its core, like these are good, decent people who just screwed up in different ways, and so it made that scene hit even harder because you want the best for them. Like through it all, I'm rooting for every character in this movie, so
Yeah.
that made the scene even harder to watch because I
Yeah.
like them, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Like even Tag, who I felt was the worst. Like seriously, within 5 minutes, how did you not be like, never mind, he's the worst? But
I know.
even Tag, because he introduces her to his parents at the party, saying,
I
"Hey, this is
know.
my," and so they're all standing there too in the crowd when she's like, "So."
I've
Like
been two-timing
every
your
oh my gosh.
son. Sorry.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was so brutal just to you knew it had to come and everybody
Mm-hmm.
was
Right.
prepared for it, but yeah, it was
Yeah.
brutal.
It was
Definitely.
brutal.
Yeah, so after the party, Natalie leaves the family's house. She does leave a note for Josh's dad, though, and tells Josh's dad sees the candles and what Josh wants to do, furthering his career outside of their family store and everything. I think that was a nice touch. I would have liked to have had a little bit more of that, like
Hmm.
Josh and dad, but I think that was good. So then Natalie is at this lodge. She's trying to rewrite her article about what happened, and she sees Josh's new profile page on the dating app. And that kind of sends her like, I'm in love with Josh. Why have I been this whole time?
He
Yeah.
sees, he takes her advice with
Mhm.
his profile, and she sees everything that she has been avoiding and has
Mhm.
missed this entire time. And it's so sweet. Which
Yeah.
leads to my favorite scene in the movie.
Yes. Okay. So I need to ask you guys this. I, for some reason, didn't think about this because the movie is called Love Hard. And so
Mm-hmm.
his favorite Christmas movie is Love Actually, and hers is Die Hard. And so it took me 3 watches to realize that the title was a combination of the 2 movies. That just took me a while. Because I thought the title was a little weird the first time I heard it, but I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, they're running out of Christmas movie titles, so who knows?
Yes.
Realized that finally. So I realized the title's meaning. I'm sure you both realized that way before I did. But then she comes to the house with the signs, like from Love Actually. And it was so cute. How'd you guys like
The
that?
best. It was my favorite scene in the movie. I loved the song playing. I loved that she did that. I loved what she said. I love what he said to her. Just the way it all tied up, and it all, like, it just combined like a good relationship. It combined what he loves and what she loves and smushed them together, and it was so perfect. I love that ending. I cried. I thought it was the sweetest. Oh my gosh. And then with the whole family coming out to be there. And I did think a lot of times when a family is involved in a scene like that, I hate it. I'm like, go away. This is about the couple. But because the family was so integral to the story, I thought it made sense, like, to have them all out there, because they really love Josh unconditionally. Like, yeah, he had the issues with the brother, but the mom, the dad, the grandma, they love him so much. And I think they saw more in him than he saw in himself. I mean, I loved the end scene. I thought it was so great. Watched it several times. Put the song on my Spotify. Loved it. Loved it.
Yeah.
What did you think, Lisa? Trying to know.
Okay, so I'm one of the people that loves Love Actually. And I think Die Hard is Christmas movie. So this is like everything I love together merged into one. I was like, this is beautiful. So what I loved is, even though there was all these little tropes throughout the movie, they did an extra little twist on them to keep you surprised. And so I'm not going to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it, but I mean, I'm sure this whole thing is a spoiler if you didn't know that she's going to come up Love Actually style. But anyways, but his answer on the back of the card, and he flips it around, I died. Perfection.
Yes.
So good.
No notes.
Perfection.
Just loved it. Absolutely loved it. Now, in order to make you feel a little bit better, Amy, about the title. So on the original Love Actually, on that first card, when he says, say it's Carol Singers, I was legit, the first time I watched it, I was like, who's Carol Singers? I thought maybe it was like some famous English singer. And I was like, who's Carol Singers? And then somebody was like, Carol Singers. I was like, so
that's
don't
classic.
worry about it.
That's the best.
That's classic.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. Side note.
Thanks. I appreciate that. So yeah, it was so cute, and then they got together and it was adorable. I loved it.
All's well that ends well. That was a great ending. And we even get a nice next morning scene when the whole family is like having breakfast, and they're, being cute in the kitchen together in their matching pajamas. Come on.
Yes.
The best.
I was like, they could have just, ended it with them kissing or whatever, but they gave us that next morning, that family scene, and I appreciated it. Yeah. I loved it so much. All right, so I want to ask this because I always wonder what people think of this. Netflix is known over the past couple years to make like sequels for their Christmas movies. So I want to know, what are your guys' feelings? Would you like to see a sequel to this movie? Would you not like to see a sequel? Do you think it was good the way it ended? What are your feelings about that possibility?
Thinking like, what the sequel would be about?
Right.
Because nobody wants a wedding planning. Nobody wants a wedding planning movie.
No, we don't need. I'm done with wedding.
I don't need planning a wedding or an event, and I don't need a baby.
Yeah. I think it is perfect as it is, and I feel a lot about Love Hard. I feel similarly about Love Hard and Holiday. If either of you saw Holiday last year with Emma Roberts, that movie ends with them. Spoiler alert. That movie ends with them together, but they're not, married. There's no baby, all of that. And I thought it ended perfectly. And I feel the same way. That the couple has made it. They are endgame. They love each other. They're perfect for each other. And it's kind of just perfect and wonderful how it is, and why ruin it? You know, they
Yeah.
kind of hit it out of the park with this one, I feel. So why mess it up? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't need to see Tag get with somebody.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, the only way they could, I think, make a second one is if the two of them were trying to help Tag find love or something like that. But
That's okay.
Yeah, I'll pass.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're good.
I'm good on
We're
Tag.
good.
Yeah. So we're not gonna have 12 Nina Dobrevs. Like, we're gonna eventually have 12 Vanessa Hudgens on Netflix someday.
Yes. Yeah,
but-
exactly.
But listen, that check must be good. I'll be like, yes, let's make another one. Mama needs a new sailboat. Let's do this.
Love that.
Oh, you want to make a fifth one? Sure.
Let's do it. Let's go for it.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah. All right, guys. So if you were to rate this movie, and if you guys have a ranking list, I'm not sure if you guys have a ranking list this year. Where is it on your ranking if you have one? But what, like 1 to 5 stars, what would you give this movie for this year?
I would
do
give
half
it
stars.
a solid.
Yeah.
I'm doing a half star. Yeah.
Okay.
I would give it a solid 4.5 stars. I loved it.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yay!
Four and a half stars.
Amy?
I just wanted, more family stuff. Okay, sorry. Go.
Yeah. So I also gave it 4.5 stars, and it's my number 2 on my ranking of all the Christmas movies I've seen so far this year. So top notch.
What's your number
So,
one?
Yeah, dying to know your number one.
the 9 Kittens of Christmas.
That track.
I'm a sucker for kittens. Like, I mean,
It was so good. It was so cute. It was everything I wanted and worth waiting for, and I loved it. That's my mini review. Loved it.
oh
Loved it.
yeah. I was like, Brandon Routh. Oh, Kimberly Sesta. Yes, the kittens. Anyway,
Adorable.
I was like, I have
Adorable.
literally been waiting for the sequel, off topic, since I was 16 years old. So let's get this going. Anyway.
They waited a long time.
Mhm.
That was
Totally worth it.
that was a nice payoff for
Yeah.
fans,
Yep.
for sure.
Definitely. All right. So thank you guys so much for coming on and talking Love Hard with me. I really appreciate it. Why can you go ahead, Dory, and share what you do on the internet and where can people find you?
Oh, what do I do on the internet? I host 2 podcasts. All the Feels, which is a holiday movie podcast, mostly Hallmark. You can find us anywhere you download podcasts and on Twitter at All the Feels Pod. And I will let Lisa share the other thing that I do on the internet because she is my partner in crime with that. So take it away, Lisa.
Okay, so on the internet, besides buying stuff online, I also co-host a podcast with Dory. It's a romance book podcast called Y'all This Book, like y'all this book. And we talk about all things romance novels and a little bit of extra stuff about life. And you can find us on Twitter at Y'all This Book or on Instagram at y'all_this_book. And then of course, anywhere you find podcasts, even on Audible. We just got on Audible.
Even
so if you're
on Audible.
Wow.
and you want to get a podcast, we're on there too.
We also have a website.
Oh yes.
It is www.y'allthisbook.co or www.y'allthisbook.com. Either
Yes,
way,
both work.
you can reach us. Yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
That's
I
it.
will put all of their links in the description down below so you can go check them out. Thank you guys again for joining me. If you want to find me on the internet, I'm at It's Amy Craig everywhere, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. All right.
You're getting there.
Bye, everybody.
All right. Bye, guys.